Now to France, where the first opinion poll since a snap election was called for June 30th projects a win for the far-right National Rally. However, Marine Le Pen's party is forecast to fall short of an absolute majority. French President Emmanuel Macron dissolved the lower house of France's parliament after Sunday's EU elections, which saw his centrist coalition suffer a resounding defeat.
The streets of Paris look normal, but there's only one thing people are talking about here. The fresh parliamentary elections just called by President Macron after a surge in votes for the far right.
The extreme right in Europe, I don't think that's a good thing. I'm worried. I have children, and I'm worried.
Okay, make things clear right now, and we will see. And if the French decide to go for the extreme right, okay, that's a choice with all the consequences. If they want to continue on the middle way, up to the French to decide.
People seem to be not so worried about it. That's what puzzles me as well. I mean, people that never voted far right around us voted far right. I think they just were fed up with Emmanuel Macron.
Those people delivered a battering in the European Parliament elections to Macron, handing Marine Le Pen's National Rally a sizable win. The new poster boy of that party, 28-year-old politician and TikTok star Jordan Bardella, will run to become Prime Minister in the new elections. And President Macron will have to appoint him if the far right wins the majority after 2 rounds of voting. The French president has been snarled up here at the Assembly since he lost his majority in 2022. Calling fresh elections is a huge political gamble, but this is a politician used to that. Back in 2017, when he won the presidential elections, he did that with a brand new party, rocking the French political establishment. Some experts say Macron operates well when the stakes are high.
With Macron now back in the focus of this campaign, and maybe with a candidate that's a bit more aggressive, a bit more, let's say, popular or unpopular or well-known, to be honest, it's all to play for, but we need to wait and see what happens. And this is going to have an impact on the way France looks for the next couple of years, and this is going to have a big impact on the presidential elections in 2027.
Macron has been continuing his engagements, like a visit of German President Frank-Walter Steinmeier to a site in France commemorating the victims of Nazi Germany. The French president knows he's about to face down one of his biggest political challenges yet.
Let's cross now straight to Paris to speak with our correspondent Sonia Falnica. Sonia, opinion polls show the far-right National Rally is likely to emerge as the strongest party in France's upcoming parliamentary election. Tell us more.
That's correct, Terry. I mean, there are 2 opinion polls that show that the far-right National Rally could win between 33 to 34% of the vote in these upcoming parliamentary elections. And that would be a jump of more than 15 points compared to the last legislative election 2 years ago. Now, these polls show that an alliance of left parties could take about 22%, followed by the Macron camp at about 19%. And really, these results are not very surprising if you consider the kind of resounding victory that the National Rally just achieved in European elections. But I think it also shows the kind of deep resonance that the ideas are now finding in France, the ideas on immigration, crime and violence. But I have to say we're also seeing a big pushback against the far right and its ideas. Last night there were major protests, thousands of people rallying in cities like Nantes, Rouen, Rennes. There are 5 labor unions who are saying that this weekend they're calling for mass protests over this weekend, saying that the Republic and its democracy is in danger from the far right.
Now, negotiations to form political alliances ahead of this snap election have already begun. What's shaping up there, Sonia?
That's right. I mean, we're seeing a flurry of negotiations. Parties now also really scrambling to field candidates and, draw up manifestos, prepare the campaigns, because they simply don't have a lot of time to do that. I mean, the first round is at the end of the month. But last night there was a deal announced on the left where we saw the centre-left socialists and 3 other left-wing parties, the hard left France unbowed, the communists and the Greens, saying that they would unite for the legislative elections as part of a progressive, what they call a popular front, to fight the far right, and they say to defeat its racist project. We're also, this is actually a big deal, because the speed at which the left has managed to kind of cobble together an alliance here has surprised many commentators there, because they are usually quite bitterly divided. And we're also seeing Macron's Renaissance Party now trying to rally other centrist and moderate parties to get behind what they're calling a Republican front to fight the national rally. And on the far right, we're also seeing this happening with Jordan Bardella, the president of the National Rally, saying they're in talks to form a far-right alliance for the parliamentary elections. No formal deal has been announced yet. We have to remember that the combined vote of all the far-right parties in France in these European elections touched nearly 40%.
Now, President Macron is under tremendous pressure, of course. How is he planning to use these next few weeks before the election, Sonia?
Well, you're hearing that Macron is expected to hold a press conference later this afternoon, and obviously this is hugely anticipated, because we're hoping this will shed, of course, some light on just what made him make this kind of shock announcement to call snap parliamentary elections. That has really triggered a frenzy of speculation analysis here. And I think it's worth remembering that the stakes are unusually high with his announcement. The far-right National Rally could yet get a majority in parliament and form the government. We could see Jordan Bardella as the new prime minister. And that would just mark an absolutely seismic shift in France.
Sonia, thank you very much. That was our correspondent, Sonia Falnica, in Paris.